Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to do a video talking about just the a bunch of random things about this phone, but I'm actually gonna do a charge test. So let's get this charging on the road. I'm gonna use that to get the charger in. There we go, and we're off. So it's weird. It looks like so I can't tell if the phone's actually on because it did show the boot logo, but maybe it just boots it to like a sort of like um, sorry, I was checking that out, but it seems it boots it to maybe like a safe mode, to where it can display kind of like the RedMagic logo and then just the time for the charge. And of course, this isn't going to be exactly how it's going to be for you guys, considering you'll probably have your phone on, but for me, it took about a little under a half hour when I did it from a hot state, which the phone with the phone being on, but obviously this is going to be from a cold state. But yeah, so it looks like the phone's battery is chugging along. Dude, that's crazy. Almost 5% in a minute. Like, that is some good timing. So hopefully we can get to 100 even faster. Whoa. That's pretty crazy. I wish I could just keep this on. I wish it didn't, for some reason, just stop it. But damn, look at that, bro. This is insane. Okay, and so I wanted to talk about charging. I hear a lot of people, essentially they talk about battery health and how this kind of charging is bad for your battery. So it's not necessarily the wattage that's the issue; it's the heat that's generated from it. Marquez Brownlee did a pretty good video, kind of talking about this to where, ooh, 2 minutes 30 seconds at 10%. Man, we're going pretty good so far, guys. Seems to be kind of sporadic charging. And this kind of rapid speed might tell you of what happens. Marquez Brownlee did this video. He showed a graph. He was saying that even high wattage chargers, they don't always charge the phone at the wattage that it says it is being charged at. What that number represents is the peak it's going to be at. And so what happens is it kind of goes up like this, and then it just makes a steep curve down and just pretty much charges the phone like that the rest of the time. So what you have is, if this is also doing this in a shorter period of time, you're actually preserving the battery better, because you're not actually damaging the phone. And so, for instance, so the fan is not on, right? And this is what we have. So let's say I want to turn the phone on, right? So I'm going to boot the phone up. And so you guys saw a little bit of it, a little bit of the charging without it. But yeah, I'll turn, obviously turn the phone on. Moving the phone around so the focus can, there we go. So it seems the best camera on this iPhone 13 Pro happens to be, when I tap in the center. So if you have an iPhone 13 Pro and you're recording, make sure you tap in the center break. You can kind of have it so it has little graphs, and I edit it in the middle, and that seems to be the best way of recording. And so, but now see, so the heat issue doesn't seem to be really that big of an issue. Considering this. So while charging, the fan will go. And so all that heat that might damage the batteries is definitely, the heat is less effective with this fan, because it's taking the heat away from the battery. Or at least the heat put into the battery, it's pretty much cooling the phone all the way down. And yeah, we just, oh, that looks so good, by the way, guys. I kind of just want to try to keep it there. As you can see, also a little demonstration of the flashing, but let's check that battery percentage. So, like I was saying before, guys, I'm going to go to the battery menu as well. So we can just see the increase right here. It doesn't have like the, the fun animation, but okay, so it's giving an estimate of 20 minutes left until it is completely full. And you can definitely hear that fan, and it might cause some people to worry, but not to worry because this fan doesn't sound like this all the time. What happens is it just pretty much when you're charging it turns it on the highest setting, and I think it's great because it preserves battery. I guess it prevents battery degradation if it's on the highest setting, keeping the phone cool. The phone feels hot, but weirdly enough, not hot enough to where my iPhone. So my iPhone SE actually got hotter from. I'm watching a lot of King of the Hill. Hot. There's this is random, but there's this episode where I don't even know what I'm saying. Never mind. I'm really tired, guys. How many password sign-ins do you think I'll have to do for this thing to charge to full? Now, there's a good chance that if you run the display at like let's say 60 hertz while charging, and you turn off some of the advanced, the advanced display feature, and you can actually go in the game mode and clock the what do you want to call it? You can clock down these settings. There's a possibility that this thing might actually charge faster, but realistically, I don't think you're going to go and change some settings to see a better charge. So just because of that, this is pretty much what you should be expecting. This does go fast enough to where if you take a shower, or if you go just do something, like you could literally just put this on the charger, run an errand, and the time it takes you to like go into the store, if it's charging in your car, maybe not even in the car, but if your car has like some kind of power port, it's where it is. You don't have to do like car charger, and it has this rapid charging capability. If you go run an errand, by the time you get back, you should be able to run the errand just fine. And your phone should come back fully charged. All right, so it's giving us the idea of 17 minutes. But yeah, so another thing too is a lot of people, they try to find any reason to knock Android. They try to find really any reason to justify why people want to justify what they spent their money on. And so a lot of the time, a lot of people will read comments that kind of bash phones like this. Like I was talking to my buddy, and he was saying, why would you buy a phone that isn't like name brand or like a main thing? Like why? I don't know, man. But he's like, because I don't want those things. I want a phone that does basic things like that. So of course, there are people like him where he's working all day, he just wants basic things done. And of course, I understand that's why people go for phones like that. But there are a lot of people like us who spend a lot more time on the phone, have a lot more free time, and want a powerhouse. But this phone is also good for general use. Like, of course, this is a quote-unquote gaming phone, but the fan isn't on all the time. You don't need to use the fan for any kind of settings. You can turn the fan off in any toggle. You could literally not use the gaming mode. You could just use the phone normally. Like, the speakers work great. The call connection's great. The call quality is great. I would say if you're just going for calls, actually the best one to get is the Pixel 7 Pro, because you can literally put robot callers on hold. Like if you're just going for calls, you can put robot callers on hold, and it would text a or not robocalls, but basically like you can put that weird song thing on hold. Like you can, it's called Hold for Me, and it'll call you back when it detects any kind of voice. I have a review of the Pixel 7 Pro if you're interested in that phone. But what I would say is that it does have 12 gigs of RAM. It doesn't have 16. And why that is important is because genuinely, the more RAM you have, the better your device is going to run, the smoother you're going to run. It functions a lot like a table, right? Like an application is a table. You open it up on your application. The total amount of RAM you have is the space you have on the table. Somebody explained it to me a while ago in a video, and it just completely made sense. And I've been using that analogy ever since because it's a great way to explain RAM. And so, why wouldn't you want the biggest amount of RAM? You know what I mean? Like I guess you quote unquote don't need it, but also if you're getting a phone that's going to charge relatively quickly, like you could pop this shit in, like and be at 38%, which is enough for maybe some calls. Then you can throw it back on. Like if that's kind of what you're trying to do, like 30-minute charging is pretty solid. Like the fact we're at 40%, and it's interesting. It seems like the time till full kind of changes. Oh, here, let's go back to. Yo, we're gonna find the hack to get the high quality camera back. Don't worry, guys. Dude, the shift is awful on this phone. Sorry, y'all, for the inconvenience real quick. Dude, I literally cannot stand this. Like that Apple does this. I don't even. This could be something just specific to the 13 Pro. Because I don't have this issue on my other iPhones. Yeah, I'm guessing that it's specific to that. So I guess a quick kind of update. So the phone it feels pretty hot, but that's to be expected charging any kind of phone. I wonder if, let's try this. Yeah, Apple needs to fix this. I mean, oh no, you saw the first two of my thing. Oh no. I mean, bro, y'all saw the quality shift. Like, what the fuck? This is crazy. I'm like trying to tap and just maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just. But anyway, maybe it's detecting like the warm light. I don't. And I wish I could adjust something more than the zoom. Ooh, that's kind of cool. That's a crazy zoom. 3x zoom on the 13 Pro Max is pretty good. Especially when that is pretty crazy. That's some detailed zoom. So I will give them that credit for that. Yeah, it seems like it blurs out because of the fact that Did it fix it? No, god damn it. Half these videos could be try to maintain video fucking quality on this iPhone. Dude, such bullshit. I don't know why everyone sucks Apple's fucking dick, bro. Like, seriously, dude, Apple fucking sucks. Like, fuck. Just, my god, bro. I want to record a video without it just adjusting to shit-ass quality halfway through. Like, did I ask for the camera to just go blurry because it picks up some fucking fluorescent light? Like, no. You know what I mean? There we go. See that? No, come on, just fucking stay. Just fucking stay. Come on. Okay, so we're about halfway at 15 minutes. A little more than halfway. You definitely can still hear the camera. But yeah, so overall too, I guess this would be on topic too. So heat during games. So I've only noticed a shit ton of heat when I'm pushing it by playing like the Nintendo Switch, for instance. I guess the way that you can deal with this heat, this also comes from pushing the graphics and it being on being put onto a better display than the Switch has, etc. There's a lot of reasons for this, but and I have a video comparing the Switch versus this phone. You can see that the quality does look pretty similar, just considering it's the same game. But obviously the Switch doesn't get hot, but the way you can combat it is if you get a Gamester X2. But get the RedMagic 8 Pro model if you are going to get it, because it essentially that issue goes away. And the issue being that you don't have like the USB-C on the wrong side, so you can actually play it when game mode's turned on and you can use all the features. Like, so because of the way that I think they did it on purpose to get you to actually buy their new thing, which is annoying because, well, yeah, it's annoying, and it's but I mean, you know, they make a good phone, and yeah, just because of that, it's worth supporting them. Also, another thing that this is random, but I just don't understand how people are still arguing that Android phones are laggy. I just don't. This phone does not lag. Like, sure, when it's nuclear fucking temperatures, after I just finished the Switch game, which was not lagging, and it's transitioning and it's cooling down, I noticed a tiny bit of lag when I was typing. But that was also probably due to just the RAM consumption of that, and it kind of, I guess, the switch of it changing, as well as me just typing in the browser. That's the only kind of weird little lag I noticed. But that was when the phone was nuclear fucking hot. It was so hot from playing the game. Like, sure, and I had all the max settings for this, for the Switch emulator. And so the thing too is, on another phone that doesn't have 16 gigs of RAM, like, you're gonna have a worse time because your phone is not gonna be able to run a game that takes up 8 gigabytes of RAM, as well as all the other system things, especially on something like a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Like, good luck, dude. That phone's gonna get hot as fuck, doesn't have a fan, no way to get the heat out. It's gonna throttle the fuck out of the game. The game does not throttle. Like, I never noticed any frame skipping. It ran really great. You guys can see that for sure. I did turn off the frame limiter, which definitely helped. Sorry, switching hands, guys. It's 20 minutes. But yeah, let's see if we actually do get that 37-minute charge time, or that's just hype. That 37-minute charge time could just be, that could just be when the phone's off. So we're actually going to see how long it takes. But yeah, so back to what I was saying. Android phones do not lag. I've had a lot of issues of the iPhone 14 Pro Max and even this 13 Pro Max just freezing up. And because it's software, there's not much you can do other than try literally turn off the display because it's just software buttons, right? And my buddy has an issue literally with his iPhone 14 Pro Max that the phone completely freezes up to the point where a hard reset will not do anything. And he had to take it into the Apple Store and I don't know, they plugged it into their special little fucking cords that fixes everything, of course. You know what I mean? I don't understand the tech behind why. Theirs might do something. I don't fucking know what wizardry they have at the store going on. But they were able to fix it. But my point is, if people are going to make claims, like just saying a beast of a phone like this is going to lag because it has Android. Like a guy was saying that the specs on here are to compensate for lag spikes. But then I found out the fucker lives in a country where their currency value doesn't really mean anything. And I'm not shitting on people from the other countries. It's fine. But what I'm saying is I think he was just, it's like when you ship over a device, and I say fucker because he was being a big dick, not because he's from the country. I just want to kind of clarify things so people don't get upset at me. I don't come off like a dick. I'm just trying to say where he was from, the value of his purchase internationally with purchasing phones like this or an iPhone, for instance. The value of it is so expensive that, of course, when somebody gets an iPhone, they're gonna just like love the shit out of it. Another thing this dude brought up, right? He's like, name me one Android phone with equal bezels. Bitch, I don't care. You know? I don't care about equal. Okay, so look at this. Like, how is this such a bad thing? A millimeter difference. So these sides are equals, and you get to the top, and there's a fucking millimeter. He's like, the iPhone 10, that one has equal bezels. Really, dude, the fucking big fucking chin that pops down, yeah, really equal. So it's just, I don't know. People will find any way to defend their shit ass tech, especially this dude who's just being a complete fucking dick. And that's the thing too. I like these people are so smug that sit and try and support iPhones. Like I don't get it. I don't get how you can be so goddamn brand loyal. Like try a high end Android phone. Stop spending $300 fucking dollars on a shit ass Android phone that has 2 gigs of RAM and apps don't work. You know why? Do you know where things lag? It lags on that Galaxy Tab A8, the thing that I have in the other room. It's because it's still trying to run Samsung super bloated up software with 3 fucking gigs of RAM, okay? Barely 3 gigs of RAM, actually 2 gigs of RAM. Okay, that is going to lag. Okay, but not 16 gigs of RAM. Not the newest Snapdragon processor, you know? We're not going to see lag. And so that's the thing. You need to buy a high quality Android phone. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to spend your money on high quality, and this is high quality for relatively cheap for what you're getting. And I would say that this is the Android phone that I recommend to anybody. This is such a good Android phone. I did a hour-long video on, the battery charging up, or not the battery charging up. That's what I'm doing right now. I did a hour-long video, pretty much talking about, just like I was reviewing every aspect of this phone. So if you're curious, just go ahead and go to my channel, and it should be one of the videos on there, RedMagic 8 Pro full review. It has an exclamation point after it, can't miss it, you know what I mean? So go in there, see all the details of me going through every aspect of this phone. But yeah, so also, I guess I could show you guys this. I'll show you the battery usage yesterday. So, for instance, let's see here. So it's not, I don't know why it stopped showing it, but I was using this phone for a day and it was a day and like 1 or 2 hours. That's the amount of time. It was just a crazy amount of battery time for this phone to die. It was probably like 26 hours of battery time. And now I wasn't using For instance, I watched a lot of YouTube, and as you know, YouTube does train battery. It does train battery. That's what I said for sure. That's what I meant to say. It does drain battery, right? YouTube does. YouTube took up 14% of the battery. I was watching for hours, and it really didn't even put a dent in the battery. This battery is fucking awesome. It is phenomenal. Like this rapid charging, 25 minutes at 75%, 77%, right? Like this quality is for this quality, for that battery longevity, for being charged up in 30 minutes. I mean, what the fuck? I just don't even understand how people can sit and still support the iPhone. It takes about an hour to charge your shit. Like, I'm not gonna wait 30 more minutes to charge something that has 6 fucking gigs of RAM. Like, kiss my ass. You know what I mean? Like, people are idiots. Do not buy a fucking iPhone. Do not waste your money. Do not spend 300, 400 more dollars when you could get a better device right here. It doesn't have iMessage. Bitch, does it? Doesn't have iMessage? Oh, it's weird. I have iMessage. Oh, that's so fucking weird. No way. It doesn't have iMessage. Doesn't have fucking bald ass shit, you know what I'm saying, boys? Look at that. Proof. Waiting for iMessage. Look at that. Boom. Delivered. So Android does have iMessage, right? So there's no reason to support Apple anymore, especially with their lack of acceptance of RCS. Like, what, you don't want two phones communicating better? And everyone's pointed this out, and I talked about this in another video. I made a little short video, and I've probably ranted about this before, but it bothers the shit out of me, knowing that with all the resources that they have as a company, with everything that they have as a company, and supposedly if their devices are so great, then why are they limiting something like RCS if they're willing to be? Well, it's because they know people will stop upgrading to their devices because there's no more exclusivity. And I pretty much just showed you how there's no more exclusivity, by the way, because I can iMessage. So in terms of sending photos and all that, I mean, there's really no reason for an iPhone anymore. And if you're going to pick one up, pick up this bad boy, bro. I have like I said, an hour-long review. Y'all can go check that out. But yeah. This phone is a beast, man. I love how fast this thing charges up. And now we have passed that 27 mark threshold. So it looks like maybe that statistic is by, I guess it's probably when the phone is off completely. Now I have the phone on and things are running and it's slowing it down. But it looks like, yeah, at this rate, it's probably going to be more of like a 30 to 40 minute charge. But even like a 40-minute charge is doing pretty good, especially when this is a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, guys. This is a big fucking battery. The iPhone 14 Pro Max, I think, has like a 4,000 something milliamp hour battery. Like, so charging up this beefy ass motherfucking boy, charging that shit up, dude. Like, just charging this up in this amount of time, like, is really impressive. But yeah. Even just 28 minutes, dude. Like, let's say you're getting ready and it takes you 30 minutes to get ready, bro. You have 85% battery. Like, you're set for the day. Especially the people who really care about the battery degradation thing. If you keep your phone charged to 80% and you just run that out till the end or whatever, you know, that's easily gonna preserve your battery even more. So, like, let's say just to 80%. Sorry, I literally should get this thumbprint recognized, but... Look at that, guys. We are moving along. So it looks like that claim, though, for 27 minutes is, yeah, not necessarily accurate, man. Looks like that's 85. And I don't know exactly how much I was talking before I did the video, but it looks like maybe, I mean, it's only probably 30, 40 seconds off from the actual timing. But I mean, getting close to 100 at 86%, like especially with a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, 86% is gonna last you a long fucking time. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like a lot of this, um, but yeah, I mean, it is a bit of a bummer that they are making claims, but I think the claims that are made are literally just because the phone's off, and yeah, um, I don't know if this is also changing the speed. So this thing right here, so I have an extended cord. I don't have it directly plugged into the wall, and I think what's happening maybe, and I don't want to be making excuses here because if this is the case, and it's not, if it's going to be different when it's directly plugged into the wall, then obviously that's, my bad for not doing it directly in the wall. So it does look like if this is the case and it does charge faster and you see it charge faster in other video tests, then essentially know that the reason is that thing. I'm not going to sit here and blame that because, it's been 31 minutes, like definitely not 27 minutes, like a lot of people talk about, including myself. But the fact of the matter is, man, like this is good. But I think this also goes back into proving the theory of how it charges pretty quickly right up front, and then the wattage drops and it does charge shorter. It does charge less because there's less wattages being put into, I guess, like the device. I don't know every single detail about battery. Like I don't have everything memorized. I haven't studied anything like that, so I'm not really super well versed on it in general. But from what I do know, it is pretty awesome seeing the battery at 89%. And it's been basically a half hour. Like, dude, 89, 90%, man. We're doing good, bro. With 7 minutes left, estimated. So an estimated 7 minutes. I'm calling 40 minutes. That's what I feel like this is gonna be like. Oh wait, here, let's go. So I don't have the little arrows. I'm not really used to the 3-button thing at the bottom. See this right here. So I went back to that just because I think it looks pretty good. You don't have to have that. You can have swipe gestures, but for me personally, I kind of wanted to go back to the buttons. I'm kind of tired of swipe gestures personally, but fortunately this phone isn't very wide, and I mean I can reach the end, but yeah. So another thing too, like let's say you do reach 80%, but you have your battery plugged in because you're playing games. You can turn on charge separation, and it's going to make it so the battery percentage doesn't increase, but it does allow the phone to stay on. So essentially it'll sustain this battery. It won't increase the battery or decrease the battery. And if it does, I don't know if it'll decrease the battery, but it's going to just keep it stable. And so that's actually pretty cool. But to be honest, guys, realistically, if you're looking at this phone, if you stumbled across this video and you're worried about battery degradation or whatever, or you're just looking at this because you just want to see how every Android is worse than an iPhone or just fucking whatever. I mean, the reality is you're not going to wait 3, 4, 5 years for your device to upgrade your device. And if you do, that's fine. But obviously, this kind of phone isn't for you because this phone can work in settings. And let's say even if the battery is degraded, it's not like it's going to be so bad within a few years that it's not usable or doesn't last as long. That's not going to be the case, guys. Like, so people think it's just going to go from like 100% overall, like the capacity, being, like I said, I don't really know all the terms, but I feel like people think it's just going to go from like 100 basically when you get it, and it's going to drop to like 5% by the end of it because of how fast this is. But like I said, it has to do with heat. And dude, this phone right now is feeling pretty fucking cool. Like, dude, this does not feel hot. Like, I mean, even just like comparatively, that little like iPhone SE, the first generation one, dude, that thing right there, even shows that this thing is cool because that thing is a little heat brick, bro. That little, and that makes me realize how much the fan's actually doing. And so if this phone is this cool, there's a great chance the battery itself is cool too. And if the battery is cool, there's no damage being done because degradation comes from heat. It doesn't come from the amount of wattages going in. So if your device can manage the wattage coming in. And like I said, it's not the peak wattage on the charger. It is just, I can't necessarily see the wattage that's constantly charging the phone up. Unfortunately, I have no way to display that. This is just a cold test along with some ranting. But yeah, 94% at 35 minutes, guys, or maybe 93. I don't know when that switched over. Yeah, it's okay. It's certainly not the claimed 27 minutes. Maybe if I left my device off and maybe if I didn't have it plugged into that thing, it'd be a little bit different. But the fact of the matter is you're most likely probably going to use a cable extension because nobody wants to be 2 feet from the wall. And so this is a more realistic battery, or I guess battery charging speed time. Like I said earlier in the video, I don't know if maybe dumbing down the settings will change anything. I'm not willing to test it because honestly, I don't really want to. I enjoy this phone at its full settings. You know what I mean? Like, I really enjoy it. And yeah, but dude, this thing, what I will say is it does charge up fast. Like, this is, I feel like honestly, looking at the iPhone, when I had the iPhone 14 Pro Max before I gave it away, I'm not trying to virtue thing. I always fucking do that, but I just say I gave it away so people don't ask for more videos for like an iPhone, for instance. But I literally, and I did like a little review. I thought it was pretty boring to be completely honest, but that's personal preference, especially if people are just using it for, like some guy said, all he wants is he wants to play his game. This guy's also talking about. He's like, oh, I run Genshin Impact at perfect quality at 2 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, bro, there's no way because devices with 2 gigabytes of RAM, unless you have nothing else but fucking Genshin Impact on there, they probably don't even have enough room, to run Genshin Impact. And Genshin Impact's probably support, I don't know how far back it goes in iOS or Android. Most likely, the dude was talking about iOS, but yeah, just like thinking about it, dude, like it's just irritating. The game is not gonna run well at 2 gigabytes of RAM. Maybe if you have the lowest settings and it doesn't need a big display, if it's formatting to the tiny ass little display, and it's low quality, it's obviously not gonna put that much strain on the phone. So that's why I understand, I guess, why that might be the case of why it might run. But for that thing to run perfectly and then him shit talking this kind of device, like that has it's just beastly specs, like people need to be just realize like the iPhone isn't the greatest fucking phone in the world. I shit talk it because a lot of people are wasting their money and I don't want you to waste your fucking money. Because I have wasted my money on iPhones in the past. It was fun when I was around people, who had iPhones, especially when I was out like skating, or not skating, I was out doing BMX, used that iPhone SE like I've said before a bunch of times. So in that instance, it was pretty good because it was just out of the way and I could still get videos that are, we would record and airdrop. So in that case, like this would have been a little bit more of a hassle because it is a big phone. But then again, you could just throw it in your backpack. It's the same size as the 14 Pro Max. I've done the video talking about the 14 Pro Max. Like I said, a review, but also I have like a brief little comparison. Nothing like too intense. I don't even really go into the phones, but just a literal physical comparison of just seeing them side by side. Not even talking about any kind of detailed specs, just the literal view of it. But we are closing in on it, guys. I did call about 40 minutes, and it's looking like it is probably going to be 40 minutes. So a 40-minute charge is what we're really looking at from 0 to 100. But 40 minutes is not too bad, and especially it might change if you don't have a little plug extension like I had. That might be affecting it. But I want to give you guys a realistic thing because, like I said before, most likely you're going to have a extension cord plugged in. And yeah, but thank you guys very much for watching. We are coming to close in on 100%. And it looks like, let's see here, how long is it going to take? Estimated 4 minutes. I don't think it's going to be 4 minutes. I think it's going to be maybe one more minute. But we are closing in on 40, so can it beat 40 minutes? Yes, no, possibly. Come on. Do it. Dude, we are at that finish line. Come on, 99%, boy. Let's go. Let's see if it does it in a minute. Dude, I'm going to be a little bummed if it's over 40, bro. That's definitely a bummer because, I don't think it'll actually be over 40. We did lose maybe like 30 seconds. I don't remember what I said earlier, so I promise you I'm not trying to like slowly change the time to make this thing look better. Like this is a realistic charging speed for this device. But what I will say is the device is not hot, and it is nice that the fan kicks on. There's obviously no other Android phone right now, maybe like the Asus phone. Yeah, dude, that's there. I mean, like, see, iPhones aren't that great either because they're just dog the quality again. Let's see, come on, boy. Yeah, we're over 40. Um, yeah, not looking too good, boys. 27 minute is looking all in actuality like 40 minutes. It's okay. We're gonna live. You know, it's not the end of the world. I don't think they're lying. I just think it's, yep, there we go. 40 minutes, 40 seconds. I do think you guys can click through the video and see the actual timing. If somebody wants to do that and just see exactly when I plugged in it started, let me know, but it's around 40 minutes. But yeah, thank you guys for watching and have a nice day.